I caught up on Doctor Who's new season.
Oh,
He cannot stop crying for the life of him. He just comes off as a bitch every time.
like, are the stories serviceable and he's just annoying and it's hard to watch, or is it just kind of like
he's not good as the Doctor, because you don't buy him as being a personality of the Doctor. Every time the Doctor regenerates, it was a device used so they could replace the actor and keep the show going, right?
Right.
Then it developed into everything that it is now. But each time you had a Doctor come in, there was some sort of personality trait that identified him as being the Doctor. The Doctor usually has a role of being a brotherly figure to the companions, a sort of romantic for the companions or somebody, but it's not a will they won't leave thing. It's usually like they have a crush on the Doctor and he's kind of flirty, but he never goes.
That was Rose,
right?
Yeah,
he was married at one point. So he had that, but even that was kind of like an estranged thing. He's the grumpy old father or grandfather kind of role. Like he has different levels
personalities
of his personality. There's nothing in this one here. This Doctor is overly emotional, cries at the drop of a hat, calls everybody honey, sweetie, is flamboyantly gay. In here, they made
not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, there is in this story, because the Doctor shouldn't be this thing, and they say it's a fictitious alien. Why does that matter? Why does it matter that you have to change what the existing storyline was for 60 years that people loved, that you had to do all this shit? But I've had these rants before. I don't need to go into it again.
just go to Eric's Twitter or Instagram. I'm sure you'll catch up.
Yeah, I want to show you this. So this is from the first episode. This companion meets the Doctor, and he was already helping some other people on this other planet. And the person he was helping, he turned the other way, got shot, and died.
Which, by the way, second season in Disney, already a whole new companion. Which is kind of already annoying to think about.
Okay. So look, he walks away from here after the other girl died. He stands there. Now I zoomed in on this. Look how long this shot is. He stands there crying. He can't fathom anything anymore. He stands there crying. He's going to do the closed eyes. I can't handle this. He's always on the cusp of a mental breakdown. He's an emotional bitch. This guy playing
like
the
daytime
Doctor.
soap acting, where like you walk off, you're fully in frame, and then the one tear comes down, and you're like,
yeah. This is all he does. Like he'll sit there and he'll have his moments, and he runs around all flamboyantly, whatever. He wears denim kilts now that are lower than knee level. They're almost down.
So they're dresses.
They're dresses, but if you call it a dress, people online of the, from the alternate communities, all give you shit that you're a homophobe or you're racist or any of this thing. If you don't like the Doctor and the way it's being portrayed or whatever, you're the problem. This show is not for you anymore. You need to stop watching it and leave. You don't just walk into somebody's house and say, we live here now, beat it. After like 60 years. But that's what these people do. He cries all the fucking time. We have a video up on the channel. You can go watch it, where it's called Doctor Who Fans Are Insane or something like that. Where we did the whole thing explaining the first season with this guy and how he cried and all the fucking problems with him. So second episode comes around last week, and I'll give you this. The story was good. He didn't need to be the Doctor for the story. Like anyone could have been the Doctor in this story, but the story felt like a Doctor Who story. It felt like it belonged in the canon of everything. It was a one-off kind of thing. Didn't tie into other things coming down the line. It was a one-off thing. The past season and this season, they're doing less science fiction and more fantasy. So he's been fighting gods now. So all of those specials, when he led to the Toy Master with Neil Patrick Harris and everything, that was a god on the fringe of the universe that are trying to destroy reality in the universe and all this other shit. And then there was other gods within the last season that he was dealing with. The one about meeting the Beatles, and then this god comes in and erasing music and from existence and all that stuff. That story was good too. Wasn't even a problem that they hired some famous British drag queen to be the villainous god in this story.
I remember. Yeah, I remember that one.
Wasn't a problem. Had no problem with that. The Doctor still was the issue for being a bitch and being awkward in the whole thing. Like he's the wrong Doctor for that story. This story from last week Great story. He didn't need to be the current doctor. It could have been any doctor. Was a good story.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, are there stories that where you see that he fits as the doctor, or he just at this point?
I don't think he fits as the doctor at all.
Okay.
No, because one story in last season, it seemed to be a story about people being so entrenched in the world of online activity and social media that these creatures came to the planet, and because everybody's in essentially these bubbles that they would wear, an electronic bubble that you could do all your like streaming, almost like VR, but you don't see the creatures in the real world that were eating these people. So people were just disappearing offline, and they're like, why did he log off? We don't know what happened. They were dying in real life because these creatures everyone's just standing in a room or in the street or whatever, not moving, not seeing anything outside of the bubble, and these creatures are just coming and eating people, right?
Interesting.
So you think it's about that storyline and getting over, stop being so entrenched online. But towards the end, he's trying to rescue this one girl, pale blonde girl, blue eyes and everything, tries to get her to leave this area, and she meets up with this other little refugee group that turned out to be other friends that she had online that were all trying to flee this area. Then you started to see the theme. Oh, they're all blonde, they're all white, they're all Aryan looking. She chose to go with them instead of going to safety with the doctor because he's still a black guy. And I went, oh, at the last minute, now it's about everyone's racist instead of the whole thing about technology. It felt like a Black Mirror episode doing Doctor Who.
Right.
And then quickly pivoted to, well, if you don't like the doctor, you're racist. And that was like the end of the episode. And you're like, oh, fuck you with all of this, right? I watched this new episode. It's fine. They show the teaser for this week's episode. I have the teaser here. So next time right here, it's just showing little blips.
Yeah, quick cuts.
And it's like pulsing because something's down this well at this mining facility. So that's what this next episode's about, right? So it's blinging out here. Look.
Oh, God, he's crying again.
And this was the longest shot that they kept.
They really liked him crying.
It's just him looking shocked,
like shocked or upset. Yeah.
And look, tear rolling down. He's crying again.
Do you think that this was like his one claim to fame in whatever show he was in? Like he can cry on cue, so they have to use it as like part of his like
the only other
contract?
Show anybody knows this guy from was a show called, I think it's just called Sex. It's on
Sex
Netflix.
Or like Sex Education or something. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Something like that. It's on. It's a Netflix show, but I guess it's produced, shot in England. It's all British actors, and he's known from that show. And apparently, him and the way he does his character over there was critically acclaimed. Like people love this show. They loved his character over there. And then they bring him over and make him the doctor. So now he's checking a lot of boxes for all of this stuff here, right? All he does is fucking cry. And he can't figure out how to do anything. And everything is so emotional. And I post all the time, like, this bitch is crying again. And
this people kid is back on the escalator
he's
again.
Dealing with emotional trauma. That's what the whole bi-generation thing was for all these years. He's now dealing with the fact that his planet's gone, his race of people died. It's like he had 60 years or thousands of years or whatever of this, and now he's finally separated. The other ones, David Tennant still exists in this world. They just don't show him anymore. He's essentially retired as the doctor. There's still another doctor. He's on Earth living a different life with a family now. And he's tired. He's worn out. He's tired of running around the universe and what have you. His story is done. This version of the doctor is now dealing with his emotions and his trauma and everything he had to deal with. He didn't know how to deal with before. Now it's all coming out and everyone's championing this. I'm fucking tired of everyone thinking, well, you need to do, mental health in a lot of ways. Yeah. Mental health is important. You got to deal with some of the things. A lot of ways you're all fucking cosplaying this stuff and you see it in the media. Nothing seems genuine when you're watching it in a television show or in a movie about they're dealing with real issues this isn't a real issue. Everything else I complain about, or everyone else, the entire fan base complains about, you keep saying it's made up, it's fictitious. Why can't he be this? Why can't they do that? Okay, stop with the mental trauma. That's real. That's emotional. That's a real thing. You can't make fun of that. No, it's made up bullshit, just like the rest of this is all made up bullshit, like you said. But I sat there, and I think I told you this. I'm watching this thing and I'm working on something. This thing comes out. I hucked my mouse into my monitor and I yelled, he's fucking crying again.
Yeah,
and
I saw your post immediately. I'm like, oh no.
And I was like, why did I throw my mouse? That was stupid on my part, but I got so over emotional for the fact that this guy is faking being over emotional. And there it is in the trailer. He's crying again.
I feel like this version of the Doctor is not long for the world. Like, we're not going to see
he's done
more from him.
So they shot the specials and the 2 seasons back to back because Disney hopped on board. BBC was teetering on canceling the whole series because BBC's publicly funded and they didn't want to or didn't have the money to spend on it anymore. Yeah. So they brought Disney in, and Disney got full international streaming rights, and everything outside of the UK Disney owns with Doctor Who.
Right.
Well, their deal is up because this season was recorded and done. So now it's airing. Once the airing is done, there's no renewal notice right now. The showrunner, who everyone thought was going to bring, because he was the original showrunner, he was coming back. He
was going to do great.
He was going to save the show after the previous showrunner tanked the show. And he made it even worse.
Chibnall.
Right? Chibnall. Chris Chibnall. And now Russell Davies is back, and he made it even worse than Chibnall did.
Which is really crazy.
Right. And he kept saying, no, I'm done. We don't have any other plans. We don't know. The Disney thing's done. And now he's teasing. He's like, well, I still have plenty more ideas. And everyone's yelling, we don't want your ideas.
Right. No.
Here.
Something else, please.
Stop with this shit.
It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on all social medias at It's Eric Nagel for ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand. Go to itsericnagel.com.